Alright, we're back. Looks like I've got some stuff queued up, namely a launch pad and some of the techs we're going to need to make our first orbit. Also have a sounding rocket ready to go. I'm just going to duplicate that and designate that DO5. We'll figure out something to do with it. Yeah, D4, let's go. We'll roll that out. That's to do this sounding rocket altitude contract. I think this is one of our D2 rockets. Or DART 2. Whatever you want to call it. Regardless, it's advanced. Uses the AJ-10. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. Yeah. Forgot how big this thing is for an Aerobee, at least. Okay, so let's see. This thing runs for about 2.6 seconds. Our Aerobee has a spin-up time of 1/10 of a second, so without further ado, let's get this thing up in the air. There we go. First launch of the stream. Let's go. Off to a good start. We've got a little bit of a spin, not intentional, but doesn't hurt the mission profile. Yeah. We are going up. How you doing, Admiral Fisher? How's your RP1 experience been going? I imagine you're launching stuff pretty similar to what I'm launching here. Just early on, it's hard to go wrong with a good Aerobee. But we're going to be hitting orbit today. Had to restart because you ran out of money. That is the struggle, right? Because you don't want to hold on to a lot of money. You want to constantly be investing it back in your space center, so you're kind of always riding a knife edge in the early game. They're just constantly on the edge of bankruptcy. How's it going, gamer? Alright. This thing needs to hit 190 kilometers, and once it hits that, I'm going to blow it up, because I think we already have all the science we can get out of this thing. Yeah. Okay. Stuff's going less than ideal. I jumped into Poison Ivy. I would consider it one of my greatest fortunes that I do not get Poison Oak. I can roll around in this stuff and I'm fine. It's good stuff, good times. Alright, range safety hit. But yeah, hope you feel better. You know, you can get like soaps that are specifically designed for getting that stuff off of you. Like, I don't know what they're called over where you are, but the brand I know is called Technu, I think it is. We have some of it because I used to go hiking a lot with my dad, and he gets poison oak real bad, but I don't. Okay, let's get another contract. Can we do this on an Aerobee? If we can't do it on an Aerobee, we can do it on a RD100 sort of thing. Yeah, let's try that. €50. Hang on, let me convert that to American real quick. How's San Francisco these days? God, I'm so happy I don't live in San Francisco. Is that what you guys think? You guys think I live in San Francisco? God, I would be unhappy if I lived in San Francisco. Actually, wait, what am I doing? We got one that's mostly built that we can edit, or not mostly built, but it's like we have a day. He has a farm in Texas. I have a brother in Texas. I don't know about a farm. Cowboy hat and 40 American flags. Oddly enough, I do have an Alaskan flag in my room. I don't know why. I don't live in Texas, have never lived in Texas. My family's not, God, Alaska. I don't live in Alaska. Family's not from Alaska. Like, I've been there, but I've never lived there. Okay. So, advanced, that's a little thick. Okay, what if we take the propulsion end of the Aero B? Yeah, so the propulsion end doesn't need to change. This needs to be a cone that goes out. I don't know that this is gonna work. It's just, if I can get this on an Aero B, I see no reason why not to. Let's see, how much sounding payload do I need? 200 units, which is 200 liters of volume I need, so this needs to be a little bit longer. Let's get that more or less exact. This is gonna look a little wonky. Yeah, just make the RD-100 fairing rocket? I could do that. But I've already got this in the queue. I need a mission to fly on it. So... Actually, wait, what the hell am I doing? We can put that under. And then we don't have to redo any of that stuff. Why isn't it letting me select that? Sometimes KSP is a little weird about this stuff. Okay. 750, I think it is. Let's bump the length a little bit. This looks so weird. And I don't even think it's capable. Add in our 200 units. It's not KSP that's weird, it's your... it's my million mods. Yeah, could be. Yeah, okay, this is not gonna work. That's a shame. I kind of like the bazooka looking Aero B. Okay. Trying to think, do I have a more advanced kick motor? Like, do I have the Nike? When do I get the Nike? I'm gonna save that, but cancel the edits. Vet Tech programs near you? That makes sense. You like the animals. No, I don't get the Nike for well over a year. No, it's basic solid rocket engine sets. I could have the Nike ready in 20 days. Can you not double stack the kick motors? I don't think that would give me enough speed. I'm just going to put it up on an RD-100. Welcome in, Mac. Vet techs are people who, like, help out vets, do, like, x-rays and stuff on animals. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll just bump that back in the queue. Plan on becoming a vet after the crash once college prices go back to normal. Nice. Yeah. I'm at a community college right now, and it's about $500 a semester. Which, that's reasonable. Oh. Okay. So, let's root on that and get rid of... Well, I guess we can keep this stuff. And then we just need a... Nope, the advanced capsule. And then we need, what, 200 units of sounding payload? Our colleges don't put us in life debt? Our community colleges don't. Yeah. Okay. Give me a cone. Pretty straightforward stuff here. $750, and it needs 200 liters of volume. Oh, but that's easier to hit if we actually use the high-tech tanks. Okay, 200. Only issue is I will be 33 in a classroom filled with 18 and 19-year-olds. Yeah, we got a couple people like that at my school. They're nice dudes. Let me tell you, at least the 21-year-olds don't mind. Yeah. Most older people do online school or community college, but I mean, there's nothing saying you have to. Oh wait, actually, do I need to recover? No, I just need to recover the sample. So I don't need to recover the sounding payload, which means it can go in the booster. In this tank here. Save me some tooling. 200. And there we go. One thing I am going to do, this doesn't help it succeed at all. This actually hurts performance, but I'm not even going to put a fairing on there. I just like it looking like it's got an adapter. And yeah. Although, nope, those are all bad. Oh no, I just buried the parachute. Hang on. I screwed it all up. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about the age thing. I had a 40-year-old in my class when I was 18. He was sound. Yeah. Yeah, no, like, nobody cares if you're a little bit older and still going through college. Could personally never be a vet. It would probably emotionally break me seeing other people's pets die. That's fair. And yeah, I've known a couple of vets, and that does mess with you. Like veterinarians. Because in America, everybody assumes when you say vet, you're talking veteran. Looks good. Respect those people. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and this has plenty of Delta V. So, let's see, I had a post-it note telling me how many of these things I've launched. And I appear to have misplaced it. Did I write it on a... Nope, okay. I don't have that. Well, the default's J7. I think we did like 11. So, I'm gonna call this J12. And we'll throw that in the queue. To be honest, the way I look at that, it's heartbreaking for pets to die. They've been suffering for a long time, and I will just be the one to end it. Fair enough. Yeah. I don't do well with human emotions, though. Yeah. I'm not great at dealing with sad people. I've been told I can struggle to empathize. So there's that. And honestly, let's do J12. I don't think we can do, or J13 here. This can probably knock out all of the suborbital bioreturns. I don't know. We might need heat shields for the third one. We'll see. We can always repurpose the satellites if we look at the contract and it's just a ridiculous speed. But yeah, we're going to work forward. What I don't do well with is stupid people like anti-vaxxers and people who use oils and refuse to take their pets to the vet. Yeah. 2 career paths I want to do, and I'm still not sure which one. I kind of want to be a history teacher at a high school, but I want to be a paramedic or something in a trauma medical team. Yeah, I mean, both are decent options. One's a lot more stressful, but it'll pay a bit more. So, you got that. Yeah. J12. Let's go. And we need to hit, what is it? 2 kilometers per second orbital velocity? I feel like, I think the suborbital contracts, it's 2,000, then 3,000, then 4,000 on the last one. Both seem like fun in its own way. Yeah. I don't have the patience to be a teacher, and I don't have the stomach to be anything medical. So, yeah. Anti-vaxxer who gave their dog peppermint oil, wondering why it has heartworms and fleas. Yeah, medicine's good. People should use medicine sometimes. That is the official stance of this stream. Alright, here we go. Gonna do a rather aggressive pitch over. About 10 degrees pitched over, and just ride prograde. Ooh, what's that, a thrust loss? Performance loss. What does performance loss mean? Is it thrust? Is it thrust or ISP? It looks like thrust. Performance loss is ISP? Well, this is saying our thrust to weight ratio is 3, but we're barely pulling over 1G. So I think it might be both even. We're going to keep writing it up, because this rocket is well more than capable of completing this contract. So we're going to write it up, and hopefully we can still do it. Although things are not looking too great. Yeah, it looks like we're at about half thrust. Which I guess, if we're using the same amount of fuel to get half the thrust, that's half the ISP. I think that's how it works. Regardless, not great for this engine. Let's see, what altitude do we need to hit? As long as we top 140, we should be fine. Gotcha. Yeah, mental health. It's important, folks. Okay, what's our orbital velocity? I'm gonna ride that up to 3,000, and then I'm gonna kill the engine. Oh, and our engine just died. Yeah. That's actually really good. That's a really good, because... Yeah, no. So, 1, we complete the contract. And 2, we suffered 3 engine failures? Oh, man. That makes me happy. This engine will never fail again. I mean, we're just getting ready to stop using it, but... Oh, man. So much test flight data. And I think we get a big bundle of test flight data for every single failure. So yeah, I think we just straight up don't have to worry about this rocket ever failing for as long as we use it. Like, that probably put me up to max. Alright. Gonna do fairing sep. You can check. So 6721. How do I check what the max is? Oh, I guess we can stage now too. Yeah. Let me go over here. Oh. $67. Oh, it's out of 10,000. Well, I guess yeah, we haven't really flown this engine much. Like, I think we've used this for the 2,000-kilometer downrange and then maybe 1 or 2 flights. So, I should technically be running this, but we're not going to be in space long enough to get any science out of it. I doubt we even get a 10th of a point. Okay. Gotta prove me wrong, Kerbal. Alright. Now, I really should have included some separation motors on this. Because now I'm worried about that hitting me. I don't think it should. I think it should slide right under me. But you never know. Because it should pick up direction prograde. Yeah. Or pick up velocity prograde. There it goes. We gonna hit the fin? Nope. It's when it goes bang I would be more worried about. Yeah. Oh, you mean hitting debris that's coming up at us? Nah. See, I planned it out perfectly. No hit. No hit. You got a private teacher? Yeah. It's not great that we're coming in parachute first. But it's pretty gentle. It's a light 15.5 Gs. I don't believe that. That accelerometer was like, that was pegged for way too long to only be 15 Gs. I think we're being lied to. Oh, I didn't reconfigure the parachute for this capsule. Oh. I like doing them with solids. It's a little unreliable. Just because, like, something as little as, like, 10 meters per second can throw you off. And I might actually change that stance now that I've actually got my residuals working. Because in my previous saves, solid rockets didn't have residuals for some reason. Yeah. GCRC? Yeah. Well, in the save that I'm doing in my own free time, I did it with baby sergeants. I did it with that whole cluster. Earth is flat and the sun is an electric diode. It's a big diode. We're gonna speed this up. Okay. Yeah. You believe in the Earth? That's what the deep state wants you to believe. Why would you do that to yourself? I got a little bit more delta V out of the baby sergeants than I did with the GCRC, so that let me put on like another experiment. And I was greedy. You're uploading VODs, right? Yeah, I have an archives channel. I wouldn't expect anybody to actually watch them because it's 3 minutes of unedited content. It's mostly if I do want to start editing my content. I'd like to have them stored somewhere, because Twitch deletes your videos after 14 days. I'm not uploading the Pokemon streams though, because I don't expect to do anything with those, but I might do something with Kerbal. Mostly I just want the option. Okay. So, did we... I think we completed that contract, right? Contract complete? Yeah. €6 a liter? I don't know what a euro is. I'm gonna assume it's about $1. I don't know. My local gas station's like $4.80. You're at $5.54? Is that for the basic stuff, or is that like the premium? Okay. Yeah, we can definitely hit 3 kilometers if our engine doesn't fail. It was only 280. What, like before the price hike? I think that's diesel. Oh yeah, diesel's crazy expensive right now. Diesel's like 8 a gallon where I'm at. Yeah. Basic's like 338. Dang. Yeah, gotta love those California gas prices. All right. I do need to hop in and edit J13 real quick, just to switch the number over. I don't know why I'm doing this. Just fuel your car up in Europe. Oh shoot! Yeah, no, I can get it. I can get it boated over. J13. Also, I might as well just start that. Okay. Save those edits. And Iran, it was like 25 cents a liter. Iran's a little far. I could probably manage the Netherlands, but Iran's a little bit far. Alright. We got our mission control upgrade, so now we can take 3 contracts. And that puts us closer to having maneuvers. And avionics prototypes. What does that one do? I think that just gives us probes that don't use a lot of power. And are very light. Okay, good to know. Half the mass, half the power draw. Forgot words. Few 1,000-liter tanks over there. Yeah, it's like people like lining the bed of their pickup trucks with trash bags. That's gonna be me. Silver's dropping. What's silver? Like, I know what silver is, but I don't know in this context. Alright. And then in 65 days, we can design our first orbital launch vehicle. We won't be able to launch it for another 70 days after that, but who's keeping track? Oh, man. Are we going to have enough money to design that? I think balloon tanks are out. Orbital launch vehicle on his 20-ton pad. I got a 60-ton pad being built. It's getting there. We won't be able to use balloon tanks. That much is for sure. We don't do nighttime launches without a reason. Do you now? Am I building a second 20-ton pad? No, launch pad 2. Yeah. It's 130 days out, but the tech's 60 days out, and it's going to take more than 70 days to build our first rocket. Or our first orbital rocket. By the way, just to make it clear, I enjoy making fun of flat earthers because of the ridiculousness of their arguments. Yeah, no, we make fun of flat earthers here. But to be honest, it's kind of like... It feels a little unsportsmanlike Because you know they're not going to be in a KSP stream. The naming is perfect. Launchpad 2. There we go. Yeah. I enjoy trolling every type of Earther. What? You're a round Earther? God. Ridiculous. I had a hire car last week. Petrol was $7.68 a UK gallon. That was after the price had dropped a bit. Are gallons different in the UK? Like, is a UK gallon a thing? Your gallons are bigger. Okay. So, genuinely, I've got a little bit of inside information on the Flat Earth Society. Most of the Flat Earth Society are like astrophysicists that are just there for the laughs. Oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. We're not pitched over nearly enough. I need to get my nose down. Alright, 3,500. We're cutting throttle. Oh. Oh, are we gonna make it up? Or are we gonna be going fast enough when we get up there? Yeah, it looks like we'll make it up. Yeah. Just barely, though. Okay. So we're gonna scrap J14. Also, I'm gonna start keeping track of these again. I would highly recommend everybody just, if you're playing RP1, keep some post-it notes by your desk. Start a spreadsheet. Be boring about it, you know? So. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have dart 4. Wow, you're so boring. I am so boring, and I take pride in this. You know what's not going to be boring, though, is this re-entry. This re-entry is going to be very spicy. My rocket was named, please just let me finish this 3,000 kilometer downrange contract with this stupid rocket. Have a notepad to hand. I would never remember stuff between streams otherwise. Yeah, no, I gotta write down what missions I got in the works, what I named them. Like, especially with the sounding rockets, because when you just name something J13, you don't really have any idea what's going on. It's maybe not the best plan. Yeah. And no, genuinely, once I get into like the orbital stuff, I genuinely have a spreadsheet of all of my orbital launch vehicles and like their payloads to low Earth orbit, their payloads to translunar injection, their payloads to geostationary transfer orbit. I've got all that stuff in there. Their cost, their mass, their... Are we gonna hit that? No, we're not gonna hit it. It might hit us. I even have like how many relights their upper stage has. Like, I go real in depth on this stuff. Also, good job taking down 2 P-38s. Those things can be nasty. Oh, please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. I feel like we might need a heat shield for 4 kilometers per second. Like, am I being foolish about that? What the fuck was that? Was that a wing? Or a fin? Flies are now jam on the inside of the capsule now? No, this is the advanced biological capsule. There's a monkey in here. Or there's a monkey-shaped stain in here. I mean, look, I'm not a biologist, but I feel like something could survive 23 Gs. Let's see. I weigh 180 times 23. That would only make me 4,000 pounds. Monkey brains are plastered on the walls of the capsule. Yeah. Well, no, really, just all on the one side of the capsule. Yeah, no, I would only be 2 tons. That's not bad. Alright. Alright, there's our chutes. Full deployment, and we're going in the water. And yeah, I feel like trying to do the 4 kilometers per second on that rocket is not a recipe for success. Still don't get why you like Britain and War Thunder so much? Because Spitfires look nice. That's the whole reason. Right? They look nice, they're effective. There's very few situations you are in a Spitfire where there's nothing you can do, you're just dead. Like, you can run from the planes that turn better than you, and you can turn better than the planes that run faster than you. So, if you want good-looking planes, go America. I have gone America pretty heavily, but I also go British. I just think Spitfires are neat. Alright. Yeah, that's 4 kilometers per second. I don't think we can do that without a heat shield. That would be my guess. Yeah, no, feel free to ask any questions you want. I like Japan because 9th plane is BR-47. Yeah, and that's stupid. That's so dumb. Which one of these pays best? 10, 12. That pays very well. Yeah, okay, so it's downrange. Okay, so we're gonna send this thing downrange. So J14, let's edit that. We're gonna take away the payload. I mean, probably makes sense to get rid of the fairing and just put a nose cone on it. How expensive would that be? Imagine gradual progression. Imagine getting shot down every single match because you're fighting twin Mustangs and you have maybe 20 hours in the game. Okay, let's see. So our first option is this gone, close the fairing. Let's make sure we rename that to J14. Actually, yeah, I kind of just want to get this stuff done. So we're gonna, let's see, it was like 270 for the contract. Yeah, 270. So 270 sounding payload. I'll be ready in 83 days. Yeah. I'm honestly just gonna keep it like this. We could probably get a nose cone on there instead of the fairing, but I don't care. And I don't want to tool anything, and I don't want to fly untooled parts. You have 56 hours in the game? Yeah, so cut that in half, because you've gone to tier 3 in America. DO5. That thing's never gonna fly. Let me just make sure scrapping the right one. Yeah. There is no reason we would ever fly an Aero B, even the AJ1057, at this stage of the game. And that's 1956, 1957 orbital rocketry. So we can take first artificial satellite. Do we have this tech coming down? We do. We do. Where is it? That's buried pretty far in there. Well, let's see. Okay. So it is, at least, it's going to be less than this. 22 plus 88 plus 222 plus 155. So that's about a year and a half out. Long time no stream. Welcome back, Dean. Yeah, took a little break, went on a little trip, got a little bit of the plague, and now I've got school, so the schedule is just, oh, so fucked. But, yeah, we're here, we're doing stuff. I was under the impression that we got, like, yeah, solar powered, okay. Available, and polar orbit. So I doubt our first launch vehicle will be able to go polar. But it definitely won't be solar powered. We'll definitely be able to do polar orbit before we do solar power. I think that is safe to say. Let's see how much of an advance we need. If we need a big advance, we'll go straight for the scientific satellite. Yeah, let's design a rocket, and by design a rocket, I mean blatantly rip off Thor Able. Because that's what we do on this stream. Okay. Starting from scratch. Let's go. Because really, you just don't have a viable... why is all that grayed out? Stop that. You don't have a viable upper stage engine other than the AJ10 on that node. And I really like the look of Thor Able, and I have the dimensions basically memorized at this point, so there's that. Nope. Although, just out of curiosity, what if I bump that up to 1.6? How stupid thick is the Able stage? Because that'll save me a tooling diameter on the avionics. And the fairings. And let me fit a lot more in there. How have I never thought of doing this? Dummy thick is the term? Well, I'm just trying to make sure that this isn't going to be super stumpy. Okay, we definitely want aluminum on that tank. 1.6 is fatter than Agena? I know it is. 115. Okay, yeah, so stupid thick. Trying to think. Let's not save that. Yeah, so we have 300 millimeters, 400 millimeters, and... What's Agena? Agena's like 1.25. Geno 1.25? Let me look that up. 1.5. How dumb does that look? This is kind of the mindset you gotta get in this game, is just how can I possibly reuse stuff? If I was gonna go that short, I'd want the fancy tanks. And we could get a mount on it at least. Have it look nice. Oh god. What did I do? Even that's a little thick for it. Nope. Since you're so early in the career, you might as well install the programs and Launch Complex dev version of RP1 and start with that. The programs and Launch Complex. What's that one do? Let me just go in here. Okay, these are all first stages. It's RP2. I don't know if I want to tackle RP2 yet. I'm not sure these really... Ooh. Are these new? I like these. What does LDC stand for? They got Centaur. You doing, Admiral Fisher? You got a question? Got a question for the class? Saturn S2. Vulcan. Okay. Atlas Mount Dome. Friendly Flat Earther. I'd do it, but it's 94 in your save, and you've got a sweet STS fleet. I've always wanted to get to space shuttles, but I don't have the attention span to stick with it for that long. Right, we're gonna go 1.2. Even with the top of Thor. 1.2. That's not the mount we're gonna be using, don't worry. That's fine, right? Something like that. A little bit of extra fuel for our residuals. Honestly, I think I'd prefer having the fancy paint jobs to having a nice mount. There you go. It remembered there's a rocket engine there. Nope, too long. Went too far. But yeah, that's not bad. Actually, yes, how do I produce science after I use up temperature scan, barometric pressure, and flight experiments? Well, so getting those up into space gets you a fair amount. Yeah, wait. You fully used up temperature scan, barometric pressure, and the biocapsule? I'm assuming that's what you mean by fly experiment. This thing, right? That should get you to orbit, honestly. I guess you could do film cameras. Um, yeah. Oh my god, I keep forgetting to get internal RCS. Yeah, you could also do crude supersonic. Yeah, I keep forgetting internal RCS. Planes. Shut up. We like planes here. Let's just do 2. Actually, this is gonna look janky if I don't do this, but I'm just gonna make quick little thruster blocks. Where's the shape? Here's the shape. 4 sides. Nope. There we go. What is a crude supersonic experiment? So in this cockpit, the X1 cockpit, let's say you have that on top of something. You've got these experiments here. If you configure your crew science, you've got either supersonic flight, Mach 2 flight, and that's all you should have at the start. I was proud of some of my planes. I just couldn't land them well enough to keep the crew alive. Fair enough. But these have requirements. So with this plane, or this experiment, you need to be above 300 meters per second, and you need to be at least 10 kilometers. Mach 2 flight, same 10 kilometer requirement, but you need to be going 600. And those will give you a good amount of science for relatively cheap. Okay. What's the smallest thruster I could get? Yeah, these guys. Let's see, we got HTP. HTP would be cool. Okay, we'll put these guys in this way too. And we'll get ones going off the side here. I'm skipping really bad. Everything's looking fine on my end. Could somebody confirm that? Okay. So it seems like the problem's on your end, Fisher. Alright. Let's get those in there. Why did I make that so long? Okay. That's a little better. I just need to unbury it now. Actually, let's make it a solid like 100 millimeters. Okay. I don't know why I like making my own RCS quads, but I do. And we're gonna need big ones coming down. And these will do our ullage. Although those guys can just be straight on the tank. Yeah, so pitch, yaw, and roll. Part count lag. I shouldn't be running into that problems with that on my Thor Able. Actually, no, you're 100% right. Because, not because of the part count lag, but because, hang on, let's do a little experiment here. Oh, it does stay surface attached. I was worried that would bury itself. Okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna do normal RCS quads. Especially considering these now have like settings you can do on them. Right? So we could do 3-horn. I like me some 3 horns. Because, yeah, pitch, yaw, roll, ullage, all of that right there. We just can't do translation. But, you know, who needs translation? We literally don't need a spacecraft that can translate until we get Gemini. Alright. Here we go. Nice and buried. Yeah, those shouldn't interfere with the fairings. Let's see. The stage itself weighs 2 tons. Let's give it a nice solid 5 tons. 5 tons, and then we won't have to update it. Translation's overrated. Welcome in, Squilly. How you doing? Translation is overrated. I mean, it's useful on some stuff. Like, I like having it on probes that are going towards the moon, because that way I can, like, fine-tune their flyby or their impact as they're leaving. But beyond that, don't need it. Okay. How long does that stay up? 48 minutes. That's long enough for us to do whatever it is we need to do. And then these guys need to use HTP. Because I will not use nitrogen. Nitrogen is garbage. Alright. Nice little Able upper stage. Let's get a interstage in there. Base size 1.2. Top also 1.2. And bring that down all the way. Extra height. There we go. Let's keep the part count nice and low. Only use 2 of these guys. Come on. And close that up. There we go. Yeah, how are you doing, Squilly? It's good to see ya. Alright. Here's where things get nice and interesting. It's with the Thor booster. It's small enough I think I'm gonna go integral tanks on it. Did you reduce the mass of the fairing? Can I do that? Density? Is this gonna bite me in the ass? I'm doing very good. I recently became an uncle, so I'm hyped about that. I get to meet a baby at Christmas. It's gonna be very cool. Disable the fairing decoupler. I want the fairing decoupler on just because. I guess we'll turn it off and bring this down to 1. At least for the simulations. If there's problems with it in the simulations, all bets are off. What does dragging down the density do? Like, is that going to make them break as I'm flying? Because that would imply to me that they are not as strong. Congrats, and are they gonna let you hold said baby? I don't know, first-time parents, so might be a little paranoid, and I do drop things very often. I would understand if they said no. Alright. It's fine? Well, why isn't it at the lowest by default? That doesn't check out for me. I would say no also. Fair enough. Yeah. And my sister knows me a lot better than you guys do, so yeah, fair and valid. All right. Let's get a nice boat tail on there. Bring in those nodes. Top at 2.2, base at 2.2. like I normally try to steer clear from just like recreating real life rockets, but I don't know. There's something about Thoriable that I just like. Fairing decoupler off. And where's our LR79? I am going to be putting Russian upper stages on top of this, though. So that is something I will be doing. Just, we don't have any of those right now. Alright. Fill those up with fuel. I am just going to give the avionics a black stripe so that I can see where they are. I'm gonna do that up top too. And how long does this guy go for? 182. And so the really nice thing is, if this tank and this tank are the same length, we only have to tool one of them. And both of them will count as tooled. So let's call it 7 meters. Let's see what 7 meters gets us. Need a little bit more. So go up to 8. 8's probably a little bit too much. So 7.5. 7.5. 7. Just really trying to fine tune this. There we go. And that is more or less a Thorable. The Able is a little bit chunkier than normal, but it'll save us a tooling diameter. Or it should. I don't actually know if that's going to save us anything. It'll save us a tooling diameter on the fairings. Fairing auto shape. That's probably a good length. Dean, do I knock down the density on these? Even the guys on the nose. Also, that boat tail needs to be longer. Yeah, all of it? Okay. You're the boss. If everything goes horribly wrong, I'm blaming you. I like these. I like that at least for my inner stage. That like kind of corrugated look. I don't know. We'll see what I think of it. Textures. That's fair, but unless you underloft, you should be good. Okay. Yeah. Pull down. So those cost 6. These are free. This costs 2. Okay. Let's work out our paint job. So I don't want to just do the standard Thorable paint job. That's a little boring. We always blame the guy building the rocket. Well, that's not me. That's this guy right here. It's all this guy's fault. Damn it, Ted. All right. Sides. That could be good if I repaint the avionics. Instead of just doing the straight black stripe. Maybe I find something a little more interesting on it. There we go. I kind of like that. At least for the lower stage. We still got to do the Able. Don't forget your verniers. Oh my god. You're right. I'm only going to do one. And I know this is weird, but I think it'll make it easier to get casters on this guy. If we only have one vernier. It's probably not the most efficient. But let's say, hypothetically, if we had casters unlocked, right? 3-caster variant is a lot easier because, right, we just have the Vernier on the dorsal side, and we drop casters nice and easy that way. Really, I don't... Yeah. Did I hear SRBs? There will be SRBs. We don't have them unlocked yet. But we'll use them to get some heavier upper stages on this thing. Then it can technically launch. There's another variant of the LR0101. I don't have the other configs unlocked, unless you're talking about this guy. Which I guess he might look better. But so you're talking just stick this guy out of the side and rotate him? And that way I don't have the mount? Messing up my paint job? Yeah, I know it's for the Atlas. Alright. How does that look? Angle's comparable. Does this guy have a gimbal? It would be pretty shitty if it didn't. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It gimbals. But yeah, really all I need this guy to do is to give me a little bit of roll authority. I think I am going to go with the side-mounted one. Just because I know it'll work. I can bury the mountain. Because I don't particularly like the look of that. Bring it way down there. Okay. So, back to paint job selection. I don't know, none of these are jiving. Could do a Gina. Yeah. We'll do that. And then let's get a launch tower and we'll be ready to go with this thing. Let's do a nice round one. Ooh, I like the conical extension. Core size. I feel like this is lying. Hold down bolts. Yeah, this is definitely lying about the diameter that it's meant for. What the hell is this? Huh. I don't really know how these launch stands are supposed to work, if I'm being totally honest. So we're just gonna do something that looks vaguely right. Oh, we can bring the clamps in like that. I think I only want 2. There we go. I always like a red launch stand. Go grab the Thor specific one. There's a Thor specific one. I know there's a Delta one. Let's see. Just in launch bases. Where is it? I've got the milk stools. There's Delta 4. I know there's a Delta 2. Titan 2. Redstone? I guess that's kind of Thor. Not really. Stone. Thor Delta. Okay. There we go. As established, I like red. Delta 2 and mini. Okay. And then we need a tower. Is there a tower? There's general towers. Do we have a special one? Delta 4? Delta 2? We could always use Delta 2. Or what about just... I guess we don't need a fallback. Strong back tower 2. Small? This might be a little bit too small. Yeah, I think you want him to be taller than your rocket, huh? Because the whole idea is there's a lightning rod on him, right? Oh, but you can change the height on these. See, that's too tall. The other one's not tall enough. There's no winning here. It also just looks kind of goofy with how thin it is. Let's see what the Delta 2 looks like. Yeah, I like that. That's a good thickness. That's all good. Platforms. Let's see. And then we just need swing arms and stuff. Honestly, with this one, it's an early rocket, so I'm gonna do just like hoses. I think that's the way to go. That's not lined up. So let's grab that, pull it over. That's not lined up either. There we go. Still not quite. There we go. And make it red, because red towers look good. Alright, so we got hoses going into the, well, this one doesn't reach, so I guess this one's gonna go into the booster. Should be a Thor tower as well, but MLP has so many parts it can make finding stuff hard. I've never been able to find the Thor one. Alright. You're gonna go into the fairing, presumably helping juice up whatever payload we got in there. Kind of towards the bottom. Actually, no, because we've got to have the upper stage umbilicals in there. And we don't want you drooping into them. So I guess the fairing will be serviced by a drop umbilical. Can shorten that up. So this one's taut because it'll look bad if it's interfering with the fuel hose. Alright, and let's get another pipe going into the tank up here. Or a hose, I guess. What does this do when it... Okay, so this is just these, but it's taut. Okay. We're probably going to want to drop fairings while the booster's still burning. And you guys go, and then you guys go. And we have about 300 extra meters per second to play with. So we'll turn those into payload. Let's call you lead. And we'll get an Aero B core on here just so we can get the numbers right. Oh no, what did I do? Okay, I don't think anything actually got edited. We just sent the rocket up into the roof. Alright. Bring it back down. Okay. So, obviously that's had a negative impact on our delta V. That's about what we can do. Which, that is 748 kilograms. I'm not sure I believe this. I'm really not sure I can believe that Thor-Able on the first engine configs could do it. Could hover over a part and hit B to reroute it? Oh, I see. It like centers it. Okay. Alright, well I guess we'll simulate this. One other thing, what are we looking at cost-wise? So about 5,000 to launch and 180 days. Okay. 180 days I could do without. That's a little bit long. Been waiting 10 minutes for a War Thunder match? It happens. Alright. Let's sim it. PVG, we are 100% using PVG. I am too lazy and unskilled to fly rockets myself at all. Ascent guidance. Let's use PVG. Let's see here. Target perigee. Let's go. Yeah, let's go for a nice 200 by 200 orbit. Let's not worry about inclination. Fixed coast length. I think optimal would be about 2 minutes. Just gonna have a guess there. Okay, yeah. So MechJeb lied to me about my delta V, so that's fun. Okay, we're gonna run this back to the VAB. I was pretty sure this thing couldn't put up most of a ton. Yeah. Just goes to show, if it looks too good to be true, probably is. So what's the problem? Have you not updated that you're still attached? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Okay. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, 60 kilograms. That's a little bit more like it. And a lot of the early flights on this are going to be using a solid kick stage as soon as we get that researched, which will be in about 100 days. So from the second flight on, solid kick stage. Simulate that. We're going to start 12 hours from now. That way it's daytime. And let's go. Oh, man. I've been having such bad back problems lately. I've been trying to sit up straight and everything, but I don't know. Okay. Engage the autopilot. Yeah, We even got like 300 meters per second in the margins. So that is good. So, just looking at everything. I'm not a huge fan of the 4-minute coast. We're going to force that back down to 2 minutes. 0 coast? You think? With 0 coast, we don't make it to orbit. And this thing is capable of ullaging. You know what? You know what? This thing won't make it to orbit. Because I'm an idiot. You want to take a guess as to what I forgot? It's a little bit important. It's a little bit important. Forgot the avionics on the booster. So 60 tons. Let's call that 200 and apply. A little bit important. We're not getting off the ground without that. We do have RCS on the upper stage. And that RCS is fully capable of attitude control and ullage, which is what we need it to do. That would be an issue. I mean, it would be the best kind of issue, though, which is an issue you know about early. Right? Fixed coast length. Let's go 120. Nice 2-minute coast. And ignition. There we go. It's a little slow off the pad, but it'll get there. Doing our rollover. And starting our pitch program. Ugh. Yeah, this thing really is kind of slow off the pad. And then we have the question of how long I need ascent stats. I guess I'll pull up the flight recorder. Let's see, what do we want? We want altitude. We definitely want our losses. Q. There's an ascent stats window in MechJeb. Is there? Or are you sure that's not a custom window that you made? I'm not seeing it. Oh. There we are. Alright. Yeah. Steering losses. Time since Mark. Oh, I guess Mark is launch. Phase angle from Mark. Downrange distance. Delta V. Okay, yeah. Oof. So yeah, a lot of steering losses on this thing. But I think that's relatively normal. Well, just as draggy as STS? Is it? I don't know, I would think this is relatively pointy. I would think this is a lot more aerodynamic than STS. Huh. Okay. Oh yeah, our fairings are not liking this ascent. We're getting an overheat warning. We should be fine though. I'm gonna have to change the staging up. There you go. Alright, stage RCS. What is it doing? Oh no. That's not what you want to see. Okay. So to fix that, we need less of a coast, which means, or we need to be higher, which means we need less of a coast, right? Because I'm not messing around with these flips on staging. So let's try a 60-second coast. STS launches have 70 meters per second. Ugh. Ooh. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a fighter jet flying over my house. And that's pretty neat. Less pitch over? I'm gonna go 60 seconds coast. That should still be within our margins. Booster pitch rate. So we're at 0.6 degrees per second. You're saying lower that? Let's go with 0.5. That's not one of their normal ones, huh? Nice. Okay. Ooh. So looking through these stats, you can't see the bottom there. I think this looks pretty good. We'll pull ascent stats over to here, and we'll let it fly. Do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have like no drag losses. I guess until we start our pitch over. Yeah, when do we pick those up? Because we're still at 0. Okay, and yeah, now that we're in our pitch over, we have a little bit of AOA. Those are going to start to accumulate. Two. Yeah. And now we're starting to get a lot. Because, yeah, we're sitting above prograde. Drag losses generally start at Mach 1. Oh, that's also true. Yeah. The issue is I have no frame of reference for what steering losses, drag losses, and gravity losses should be. Like, I know this isn't right, but I kind of fly my, I kind of design my rockets by feel. Because I have played a fair amount of RP1, and I know generally what works and what doesn't. Okay. Yeah, that was a big jerk down. (9,400 meters per second minus 7,800 meters per second equals losses acceptable). Okay. So you want to keep it to like, what, 1.2? 9400 minus 7800. Or 1.6. 1.6 kilometers. Which we're under that. Assuming we don't do a flip. But we're high enough up, I don't think I'm super worried about that. Okay. Okay. we're kind of flipping. I'm going to get rid of the fairings. That way we're not trying to move as much mass. And I think I am going to have that interstage fairing split, because I think that's what's kind of kicking us. It's not the air, because there is no air. And the booster pretty much runs out of power just as soon as we stage it, which that's good to see. And we should have next to no losses from this point forward, because gravity losses, we're flying parallel to the ground. Drag losses, there's no drag. Steering losses, we shouldn't be doing much. Okay. So yeah, I think the only change we need to make to this is I want the interstage fairing to split. And if we do that, I think we're good to put... What is this? This is like 80 kilograms? I thought it was because prograde vector is off-center at stage sep. But stage sep is at like 95 kilometers. So it really shouldn't be a factor there. I think at least. It could be. Like, but I don't think the drag would produce enough torque to do that. Oh, inertial torque. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I think splitting the fairing will help. We'll see. We'll run another sim up to stage sep with that change made. Actually, we can stop this sim because, you know, we know it's gonna make it. And yeah. So, I know a Twitch chat probably isn't the best medium for explaining complex engineering terms to people, but I don't fully grasp what you mean by inertial torque. I'm basically a first-year engineering student because the plague. Okay, so that'll split now. Is there anything else I want to change? And another solution we could use is just go to the actual real-life diameter of the Able upper stage, which will give the RCS more torque. Yeah. No. These guys have got to go. Actually, I got the internet. Inertial torque. Torque is the force equivalent. Moment of inertia is mass equivalent. Okay. So torque is equal to moment of inertia. Oh, cause yeah, angular acceleration. And our moment of inertia changes, but our angular acceleration doesn't change, which means we have torque. Okay. I get ya. Let's engage that. I'm gonna time warp through this because that's gonna affect our losses, but I don't particularly care about this making it to orbit. I just want to see if our issues with staging are fixed. Feels like an aggressive pitch over. Moment of inertia is a more accurate term. Well, I never studied. Yeah. Well, I'm back. Your live stream got really choppy, and then I had an hour-long internet outage because someone ran into the cable box for the neighborhood. Fun stuff. Real fun stuff. Alright. We have 15 seconds before stage separation. Let's see if that problem's sorted. Yeah, I got you though. But because our mass is now more concentrated around the center point of our vessel, moment of inertia changes. That's much more what I wanted to see. That's not quite what I wanted to see. It's going to want to pitch down after throttle cutoff. Yeah, but I think that's manageable. And we definitely have the RCS to handle it. If we were using nitrogen, I'd be a little bit more worried. And when we have the kick stage, there will be no coast between the LR79 shutting off and the AJ10 kicking in. So, yeah, because our coast will be between the AJ10 and the kick stage. So this is a problem that I could probably solve with a lot of thought, but it'll solve itself in about 80 days. Or 100 days, I think it is. Regardless, problem's gonna go away. So yeah, we're ready. This'll do orbit. I just need to tool everything here. Why did I open? I meant to open the fairing, not the recoloring UI. Okay. There we go. Okay, close that up. Last call. Is there anything I am forgetting? Can first stage throttle? No, it cannot. I do not think so, at least. Engine. Unthrottleable. Yep. Can't throttle. Yeah. These old rockets are dumb. Tooling everything will only cost 50 grand. Ooh, that is nice. Hell yeah, let's do it. Committed a sin today. I mean, so did I. I had bacon for breakfast. In some religions, that's a sin. I am the worst. Oh, this thing does need a name. It is literally just a Thor-able, but chunky. God, I need a naming scheme for my rockets. Hang on. Ooh, I could name them after cool D&D spells. So this will be the Augury. No, that's dumb. Was gluttonous and made myself sick for most of the day yesterday. You're only hurting yourself there. This is pretty bad. Okay, so let's see. NASA goes for gods. Sin is that I just started KSP. Oh no. Alright. What if I go with like D&D gods? Yeah, okay, we'll call this Pelor 1. Where am I gonna put that name on it? I can do it up here. I'm not naming individual rockets. This like type of rocket is just gonna be classified Pelor 1. God of Light. I want that vertical, and I want it in a cool font. God damn it. Nah, that's a little... Meh. Why not name it the Fisher? You gotta pay 10,000 to get added to the game, and that adds you as a Kerbal, not a rocket. Alright. Let's knock down... What? Why is that a setting? Okay. Scale up. Alright, Paylor. And let's add that to a sub-assembly for our 60-ton pad. So this will be Paylor. Unfortunately, with your dog, that goal will be impossible to reach. Oh yeah, I cleaned up my room, got enough space in here so that I got his dog bed back in here. I was out in the front room. Have enough to be a Kerbal? Am I that brave, though? You tell me, Mac. You tell me. Okay, and then we need to design our first probe. It needs to weigh at most 80 kilograms. So we're really Sputniking it, huh? Let's see. What do we have in the way of separation motors? Where's the Give Scooby treats? Did I take that away? Oh, I didn't mean to take that one away. Hang on a second. Viewer rewards. Channel points. There we go. Should be back now. Okay, what do we have in the way of separation motors? Just committed the worst sin? What's that? Yeah, so let's use these to knock the upper stage away from whatever our payload is. It's gonna be a science core, it's gonna be avionics prototypes. Oh shoot, we're not even close to done on the costs for this thing. I don't know, I feel like I always go with a sphere. Let's go with like a Sputnik 2 looking thing. Thou shall not give Scooby his snacks he is entitled to? Well, that makes it sound like I'm not supposed to give him snacks. Oh god. Go away. I want you as the root, and everything else can go away. That weighs way too much. Let's call it 2,000 electric charge. Nah, that's just too big. Okay, yeah, we gotta do a little tiny... Thou shalt give Scooby his snacks. Stupid ads. I think technically I'm not allowed to say this, but dude, get an ad blocker. You know what? We're gonna go Explorer 1 with it. Is that our best one we got? How much extra Delta V will that buy me? A kilometer. That's pretty good. Close that. Bring the bottom out. And comms. I like putting antennas on these things. I know they have internal antennas, but just makes them a little bit more interesting to look at. So yeah, we will spin stabilize this and then fire it off at our apogee. And let's see. Tank UI. 1,300, which only buys us 5 hours. Well, if we're doing the kick stage, it can be heavier. Okay, that'll buy us 11 hours? Or basically 12. Okay, let's see what experiments we can throw in here. We've got mass spectrometer. Have I already done mass spec, though? I have not. And I think temperature is biome specific? No. So really all we can get out of this is mass spectrometer. And telemetry over biomes. Right, because telemetry is biome specific, I think. Where is that? Can I read? Regardless, I know telemetry is biome specific. So yeah, we'll tell those to both be going. Do I want the Sputnik antennas, or do I want these guys? So I could do like an Aerobee style antenna. I just have to, or not an Aerobee, Explorer style antenna. Just set that into the middle. Grab another one. Set that into the middle. And then drag them down together. And we've got a nice little... That's basically Explorer 1. I mean, Explorer 1 used a Baby Sergeant instead, which is a bigger solid rocket engine, but... I don't know. That's not the dumbest thing I've ever made. Let's paint it. Gray, dark gray, light gray. Okay. And that'll even save us these guys. Oh, that's the question though. Do the antennas fit in the fairing? Close enough, right? And we got plenty of delta V. Yeah, okay. What is it? What was the thing? It was mouse over it and hit B? Yeah. B. That brings it up ever so slightly too high though. Okay. There we go. We are going to start construction on this. Satellite itself needs a name. This is going to be was Magellan, I think, the first guy to circumnavigate the Earth? Magellan. Okay, staging all looks good. Yeah. You can adjust the height the B sets to. I don't know how to do that. Ooh. Unlock 12 parts for 227,000. I'm gonna not do that. We're gonna save this, and I'm gonna go do that in the vehicle assembly building. Or not the vehicle assembly, R&D. I forget what words are sometimes. Because I remember that when you unlock one of them, the rest of them become cheaper. So, what stuff I gotta do? We've got the procedural tanks, Isogrid only. So there's that. We've got procedural avionics upgrades, the whole shebang. I think that's all from here. I think the rest of it's just engines. Like the LR79 and the... where is it? Where'd it go? AJ10. I think I saved a little bit of money there. Wow, we are broke. Active first artificial satellite. I mean, realistically, no, that thing doesn't have the Delta V to go polar. Not without the GCRC, it doesn't. Although the GCRC is our next tech, but this is only 400 days, so we'd only get like 2 chances at it. The thing I'm worried about is how low our funds are. Scientific satellite, though, that gives us a long time to work on it. I think I'm gonna do that. Even though that's realistically the last one we'll do. And then I want to order this thing to be built, order a backup to be built, and I'm gonna take a short break, use the bathroom, get some water, all that stuff. And when I come back, we'll do probably our last suborbital flight. Yeah. 8,000. So what am I... 8,000's a lot more reasonable, but what am I still paying for? Oh, the LR101. Yeah. And then there's all the avionics buy-ins. So there's that. Untooled parts. What's untooled? Scrap that. Oh, the probe itself. Yeah. Always tool avionics. It's never a bad thing. Magellan. And we'll queue up Magellan 2, but Magellan 2 is going to have some edits. Most notably, improved kick stage. Magellan 2 is going to go polar. Well, if it goes up. You never know with that AJ10. Okay. Yeah. Quick little break. 5 minutes, let's say. See you back at 1:40 my time. Whatever it is, 40 your time. I'll see you then. Alright. Sorry that took so long. Went to go get a snack and a dog. You can't really see the dog, but if he sits up, it might. But he's there. Okay. We've got our last sounding rocket ready to fire off. It's just a downrange, I believe. And then, yeah, we are going to basic solid rocket engines. I thought that was a lot further out. Oh, basic solid rocket engines is the Nike. Oh, I guess we could put it on a Sparrow. Has upgrades. What? Huh. Oh, I guess, yeah, you can upgrade solid rocket tech or whatever. Is that still a thing? Is it? It doesn't look like it. Star 37. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing it. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, is it worth swapping that out? Let's see, we'll be 3 days in. I'll put it a little bit higher, maybe give it a higher chance of actually hitting orbit in the event of like a performance loss on the AJ-10. Yeah, I think that is something we'll do. But first we gotta launch J-14. Hey, bud. Okay, we don't need this stuff or this stuff or this stuff. We are just banking it over. So, surface. How far down do we have to go? 390 kilometers. Alright, so we just kind of want to hit 45 degrees and then stick there. Okay, because that's how you get the distance. Alright. We're just about there. Maybe a little under 45 degrees. Accounting for the curvature of the Earth and all that. Another thrust loss. Or was that a thrust loss? Performance loss. I thought our days of having those were done on this rocket. Alright, we're basically at 90% data on this, though. Just in time for our final launch. Alright. Okay, and this doesn't... No part of this needs to come back. That's an easy 400 kilometers. So we'll just fly it until we hit that, and then I'll blow it up. This is our last Javelin missile. There we go. Nice. All right. Satellite time. Let's go. Depending on the deadline length. Actually, yeah. Now I think I can look at picking up either polar or solar. They both have the same deadline. I think we'll be able to do polar a fair chunk before we do solar. Yeah, tech. Yeah. Honestly, is there any point doing the retrofit of that with the basic solid rocket engine? Because we're gonna have the GCRC before we're done. How much does it cost to unlock each of these? Right, that's the question I'm asking now. 500 funds for the buy-in cost there. 10,000. I mean, 500 is basically free for us. I think we put Magellan up on a Sparrow. And we put Magellan 2 up on a GCRC. Because I don't think the Sparrow will hit polar orbit. And I don't think it'll be that useful for, what's it called? Like just putting payloads up in general in the future. That does mean I'm going to have to redo my antenna thing. Alright. Entry cost 500. Ooh, you're skinny. You're actually less Delta V. 700. 900. Okay. Never mind, you make my job easy. Let's cancel those edits. Although I did pay the buy-in cost, but 500 funds is nothing. Actually, speaking of funds, I should not be holding on to this much. So let's buy upgrades down to about 150. And let's really start trying to crank these rockets out fast. Oh, man. We build a payload now in 96 days. Okay. Can get behind that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, there's Launchpad 2 done. Actually, I maybe should have upgraded the VAB there instead. No, we didn't have enough for the VAB. We'll need to, like, go lunar to get that. We're actually getting close-ish to the science cap. So until we upgrade R&D, we can't really go further than this line. We can get this stuff here. We can't get early interplanetary avionics. Or these guys. We can't put people in orbit. We can do EDL. We get engines. But that's the limit of our engine tech unless we want to go heavy on solids. Because that'll get solids. Yeah. But we can't go there. Okay, yeah, we need to start looking at upgrading our facilities soon. Soon-ish. Not like imminently, but soon. Okay, I think Magellan we keep on the old engine. Magellan 2, though, is going to get a GCRC. And let's say, a new look to kind of go with that. Okay. Get rid of that. Let's see. What do we want this thing to look like? I think maybe just make it kind of blunt. Just have it be a cap that goes over the GCRC. And this engine is going to be so crucial to our space program. Because, right, the rocket without it can put some stuff in orbit, but not really much. But this will let us put up satellites in pretty good orbits, really. Sorry, my dog's sneezing in the background. Let's see. Do any of these not look terrible? That's kind of the closest I think it gets. I think maybe put a little less red in it. No. Pull the blue out. There we go. That's pretty good. It's a little too shiny. I think I'm going about this wrong. Instead of trying to match the color, maybe stripes are the way to go. Blue. Nope. Red? The red's not bad. And let's give it those nice Sputnik antennas. There, I kind of like that. It's like a bullet. Configure experiments. Honestly, yeah, you're not gonna need to do any of that. Unless mass spectrometry is biome specific, but it's not. So yeah, we can strip the experiments out of that. This guy will last a day and a half, more or less. How much does this thing weigh? Empty. Oh, wow. We could almost put this into an equatorial orbit, at least unburnt. Okay. So yeah, Magellan 2. And we can knock 10 days off by tooling it. We're gonna do that. Save those edits. Magellan 1 doesn't get the fancy solid rocket motor because, you know, I don't know. I don't think it makes sense. The thing's like 85% or 86% built, and it should already hit orbit. Do not run Windows copy texture.bat in the SXT folder. Nope. I'm a little bit of a dum-dum when it comes to computers. So, I don't really know what you mean by that. Ooh, we get a nice new launch pad. Alright. Okay. because the textures are missing. Ooh. SXT is in the game data folder. Yeah, I know that. Let's see. SXT. I literally just did the CCAN Express install. Windows copy texture. Okay, I found the file. I'll run it after stream if that's something I'm supposed to do. I would run it now, but KSP's open right now, and yeah. All right, Magellan, our first orbital launch. PVG will take us most of the way, but it won't take us the whole way. We're going to need to spin stabilize our kick stage, and PVG does not know how to do that. I'm going to say right now, the Magellan series of satellites are just like they're research satellites, but not really in the sense that they do research. It's the satellite itself is the research. Because we don't really have any science experiments to be putting on this. Bets on AJ10 working or not? I don't know. We can do a poll. AJ10 failure. Yes or no? We'll leave that up for about... Well, I guess we have 3 minutes until it happens, so... Boom. AJ10. I guess a prediction would have been better. Whatever. I never claimed to be a good streamer. Okay. Let's see, do we have any actual requirements for this? We're not doing polar on this one. I don't think the kick stage can do it. Just above 150. Somebody thinks there's going to be an AJ10 failure. You know, I'm going to put my hat in the ring too. Wait, hit the test flight failure window on the right. 467 seconds mean time between failure. So it's theoretically more... Like, it's more reliable than the... yeah, I know the test flight window. It's more reliable than the LR101. Why do I have data for that? Can you hit the down arrows? Yeah, why do I have data for it? Do I get that from the Aerobee? Ascent stats, let's pull that up too. Okay. Inclination current, fixed coast length, let's go with 60. Auto stage. We want you to stop auto staging at stage 1. We don't need hot staging. LR101 is timed in minutes. Ah, so it is. So, yeah, the AJ10 is the most likely failure point. The kick stage does have a lower mean time between failure, but it also only burns for 2.6 seconds. Voted no? Okay. Let's see. Everything looks good here. All right. Let's go to orbit. We are off the ground. This thing does take off slow. Could use like 2 castors. What if after all of that talk, it was the LR79 that gave out? Yes? Okay. You have little faith. Alright, so it's gonna start... Wait, no, you're doing the coast in the wrong place. What if I do that? Why is it doing the coast in the wrong place? I want the coast after we burn stage 2. Or do our second burn. Why are you doing this to me? Hang on, I feel like that I'm gonna revert that. Because this is not a design flaw or anything, this is MechJeb not playing nice. There was no engine failure. I don't feel bad about reverting it. That's why I kept reverting in the game. That is when you set up no coast. Well, what I wanted to happen is not the launch tower bugging out on me. I wanted there to be a coast after the AJ-10 burns out so that I could point it at the horizon and spin it. But I guess... Yeah, 0 coast. Okay. There we go. We're still stopping at stage 1. Oh! We have cleared the tower. Then disable AG for that? Auto stage, you mean? Yep, stop MechJeb before you get to that stage. Yeah. So I have it set to automatically stop at stage 1. So yeah, it shouldn't stage past that. Ascent guidance. Yeah, I worked that out. I said the wrong thing. Yeah. So it shouldn't fire stage 0, which is separation and ignition of the kick stage. All right, here we go. Yeah. This is gonna be relatively tight. I really should have sprung for the GCRC on this rocket. It's a bold pitch over, very aggressive. Oh shoot, it's at 0.6. We're still within margins. I'm not gonna revert it on that. I feel like reverting it twice in one flight is a bit much. Yeah, so I need to remember, knock that back down to 0.5. But we shouldn't run into the issue of the upper stage spinning, because we are going to be lighting the AJ-10 right off the bat. So we do at least have that going for us. There's no coast there. Alright. Buddy? Okay. About 30 seconds left in this booster. How's test flight looking? We're getting some good data on these engines. Like, it's not a lot, but it's definitely better than nothing. Alright. Coming up on second stage ignition. Let's go. And fairing set. And there's the performance loss. MechJeb's doing weird stuff. MechJeb is confused. Does that count as failure then? I can't look at anything right now because MechJeb's fighting me on this. And I'm just trying to keep it on the horizon. Jesus Christ, MechJeb. And if I kill MechJeb right now, it kills the engine. I know that for certain. Turn RCS on? No, it's not a torque. It's MechJeb's giving inputs that are fighting me. Don't let MechJeb kill throttle in settings. I'll do that next time. Go to MechJeb settings. If I let go of the keyboard right now, it's putting its nose into the ocean. Do it now. Yeah, this thing's lost. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll change those settings before the next flight. But Magellan 1 is lost. That's just the booster that's out of charge. All right. Time to apogee. Look at it. I'm looking at it. All right. We have a lot of time to apogee. I feel like we might even still make it. I am killing MechJeb as soon as this stage is burned out. Because, holy shit, is this really annoying. Oh, don't fight the machine? Okay. Here we go. Disengage autopilot. Smart ASS. I should have had that up the whole time. Orbit horizontal. Just get in that general direction. No, because I'm pretty sure once you have one engine failure on an engine, it like they cascade. So if you have a non-critical engine failure, your chances of getting a critical engine failure are much higher. But regardless, we have 900 meters per second left of delta V, 7,600. It's not impossible that we hit orbit. Okay. Just gonna say kill rotation. Okay, let's coast a little bit closer to our apogee before we spin up. I maybe did totally screw that up, but I do stand by the decisions I made. Okay. Point at the horizon now. And we want to basically just fire at apogee. So, kill rotation. Off. Spin. That is a pretty good rate of spin, I think. And we're going to stage off in 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. That's orbit. Hit settings and check off don't let module kill throttle. Yeah, that's something I gotta do. Show advanced window settings. I think that's it. No? Bottom. Oh, module disabling does not kill throttle. Okay, yeah. I'm illiterate. There we go. Okay, and yeah, Magellan 1 in orbit. And as long as it's in orbit for 2 hours, we'll get this mass spectrometry, which is another 8 science, which will help us get something else in the tech queue. I don't know what, but it'll be something. And yeah. First artificial satellite. Complete. Even with that absolute fiasco. That was a time. Okay. Pluto. Man, I honestly can't believe that made it. With the performance, like, I guess we did have about an extra kilometer. So with the crazy steering and the performance loss on the AJ10, collectively with that, we only lost a kilometer per second. Magellan 2 will be ready in 90 days. So he's going to be polar. We need to put some more points in R&D so that our solar panels are ready before Magellan 3 has to go up. So yeah, 150. Yeah. So solar panels should be ready a little bit before Magellan 3. We need to build Magellan 3 minus the solar panels, though. Buddy. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's just start from scratch. Maybe we go like Alouette with this. Like just a nice ball. We could plaster it with solar panels. Let's just see like realistically what this would look like. We can't actually queue it up with the solar panels yet. Wow, I hate that. Just let me put them on flat. There we go. Full length down. And just like a big ball of solar panels. I don't think that would be terrible. Let's do 6 up here. E. All right. Sorry if the instructions seemed aggressive. No, it's just I was a little overwhelmed. I couldn't really read them and fly at the same time. And I didn't realize until after I was done flying that your instructions were, don't fly it manually, shithead. You're good. I inserted the shithead there. I was not implying you were calling me a shithead. You're totally good. Your instructions were good. I was just dumb and not reading. But it's all good. We made it. Yeah. So this will be Magellan 3. Nice ball of foil. I'm thinking that we just stamp a whole bunch of solar panels over once we get them researched. I guess make it a science core. Avionics prototypes. Close. How long does that last? 8 days without the solar panels? How much does that weigh? Too much. So pull the diameter down. 5 days. How long does the solar powered satellite need to last? I don't even have that contract. Well, we'll get that contract. Yeah, this will be fine. Alright, Magellan 3. 100 days to build. Yeah. Let's throw that in the queue. This will be fine. Oh my god, were you here for our first orbit? Like, were you lurking? Because it was a time. It was a little bit of a time. Yeah. MechJeb straight up tried to kill my space program. What the hell? Let's get that solar powered satellite, because that's going to be Magellan 3. Magellan 2's polar. Yeah. Which orbit with a minimum perigee of 300. I think we can do that. Yeah. Oh, we get a free upgrade point from Magellan 1. And some science. So with 12 science, what do we get? What do we get? I'm looking. Lunar range comms is really tempting. Lunar range comms is very tempting. That's just algals. Can't afford those. So it's as the MechJeb page on the RP1 wiki says, garbage in, garbage out. Well, so it was doing fine until, like, here's what I think happened. I think it was doing fine because it had the exact same settings it did as in the simulation. And then the Aerobee, or not the Aerobee, the AJ-10 had the performance loss, which lowered its ISP, which lowered the delta V in the stage, which made MechJeb think it had to do something different to hit orbit, something bad. So I'm gonna blame the Aerobee or AJ-10 failure. We're gonna get lunar comms. And yeah, it's pitching down because apogee was high from stage 1, which had like 20 thrust to weight. Oh, was that it? That actually kind of makes sense. And Magellan's dead. Alright, Magellan 2. We're going polar with this one. And then next one's just going to be nice and equatorial, but solar powered. Ooh. Okay. We kind of want to launch this at like sunset. Actually, no, what am I talking about? It doesn't matter when we launch it. It doesn't have solar panels. I was thinking if you launch it into a polar orbit around sunset, it has 24/7 solar power. It doesn't have to rely on the batteries at all. You had MechJeb aiming for a 200 by 200 orbit. It was always going to overloft with a Thor. Yeah. That's fair. That's very fair. Alright. So this one doesn't actually have any altitude specification. I'd only be concerned with PVG if pitch was minus 30. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Why does it default to classic ascent profile? I don't like that. Okay, so what if I set like apogee to 500? Let's go polar. Fixed coast length. Say 60 seconds. Yeah, here, this time, because we need the third stage off the pad, it knows that where, like, it knows where to put the coast. Let's see, 0.5. Well, apogee was only 250 after stage 1 last I saw. So you're saying that's how high I need. Well, last time there was a performance loss on the AJ10 and it failed early. So I don't think that's a good benchmark. Let's call it 300. Yeah, it has a much easier time with that. Once again, stop at stage 1. Okay. I think we're good. You can always adjust apogee during flight. I've had bad experiences in the past messing with this window mid-flight. Okay. 90 degrees inclined. We don't need any specific altitude, it just needs to perigee above 140. Alright, let's send it up. And I'm not worried about all this extra delta V, even though it's in a solid rocket, because even though we can't turn it off, there's no such thing as too high on this contract. Yeah. Although I don't like that it's freaking out with the roll. Oh, it's because I have force roll selected. Oh, and it... Yeah, I see what happened. Okay. Here we go. So this time, if it starts pitching way down, I'm not going to freak out until chat starts telling me I need to freak out, and then I'm going to freak out. It seems like a good, solid compromise. And this thing has literally no science on it. It is all about getting paid with this polar orbit. Freak out? Oh no! Why is it pitching down? Space is up? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a much gentler pitch, too. I'm worried that when it goes to stable guidance, it's gonna snap its nose down, because it likes to do that. Did an Eve circumnavigation? I mean, so have I. That's just an orbit in Kerbal Space Program. Oh. Alright, it didn't do the snap down. In the atmosphere with a plane. Why on earth would you spend that much time doing that? Because I know that wasn't quick. Because I've flown planes in Kerbal. Longest flight I've done was to the North Pole. And that's only a quarter of the way around the planet. The visuals? You can get the visuals just like flying around for 15 minutes. I don't know. Alright. Was it 2 prop in a thick atmosphere? It went fast? What, like wing mounted or inline? Oh, wait. Let's use RCS to keep that in line. That roll in line. Wing mounted. Okay, gotcha. And I assume electric? P-38 type shit? Oh, you did the twin boom. That's nice. Nice, nice. Yeah. Alright. So... God, that is such a short mean time between failures. So that's like 1 in every 4 of our flights right now, as it stands, will suffer an engine failure. Yikes. Ooh. Okay. 37 seconds left. Yeah, and I'm not worried about this pitch down. I'm not worried about it. I don't know, the last one seemed a lot more aggressive. Like, this stuff I know to expect. It's going wrong, Panic? Don't tempt me. So the last poll about the AJ-10, who won? There was a failure on it. Alright. Just kill rotation. We've got about 6 minutes to time warp. Yeah, it did fail, but not critically. So, I guess everybody won? It was a graceful fail? I don't know, speak for yourself. It didn't feel very graceful. Ugh. Okay. At T-minus 1 minute, I'm just gonna point at the horizon and spin. Orbit horizontal. Imagine if NASA had the same budget as the US military. So in what way? Do you defund the US military or do you fund NASA? Or do you meet in the middle, like bring one down and one up? You know? Alright. Defund US military? What, so give the US military NASA's budget. And then the rest of that money just goes to the taxpayer? I do like the GCRC. How high is this thing gonna take me? Oh god, it's still going. US military has enough to destroy the Earth 8 times? Based on what metric? Like, what do you mean? What, like, crack it in half? Orbit. Circle. MechJeff said a spare 1000, so almost GTO? No, that's not GTO. Yeah, that's about half GTO. Yeah. So if we get a better upper stage to replace the AJ-10, GCRC could get stuff into high Earth orbit. Or if we just stack 2 of them. That's another option. Clustered, maybe? What if we did like a baby sergeant cluster, but with GCRCs? I think that would be neat. All right, polar orbit. We did it, boys. Yeah. Just every single flight is gonna have a GCRC. We don't do flights without them. Actually, I haven't used GCRCs to land on the moon, but I have used Altairs. I strapped 2 of them to the side of my probe as like retro rockets, but on decouplers. So I hit the brakes basically right as I was about to crash into the moon, and then when I stopped, I separated the rockets and just use the caster for everything. AJ-10 and GCRC can go do your lunar stuff if you are brave. Yeah, but I'd need like Atlas for that. Which Atlas would require a new launch pad, which is 150,000. We're gonna need that launch pad anyways. How far out is lunar stuff? I want that earlier so that we can get the upgrade for that. Or get the upgrade for the tracking station. No, you don't? I did it with... You did lunar orbit on Thor Able with a GCRC. Or was it Thor Agena? I imagine you had the AJ-1042. And probably the S3D? I think it's called? Yeah, S3D. Not lunar orbit. Yeah. I knew you weren't saying that, because that would be ridiculous. But, how many casters? Yeah, we don't really need the casters until we get these bigger upper stages. Yeah. So let's see. That can go first. Honestly, I'm kind of over planes. So we're gonna cancel those. Titan Agena is Bay. That's a weird upper stage to put on Titan. Digital comms. That'd make them lighter. I think priority is getting better solids though, because there's so much that solids let you do. They're just so like energy dense and cheap. Mostly cheap. I didn't use casters with the early Thors. I used the casters for doing the big camera like real life. Okay. So what I do is, yeah, I don't do casters on Thor Able. I think it's a relatively minor benefit. Titan 3B was Titan Agena? What was it? Yeah, I think on Thor Able, the casters are a relatively small benefit. But once you start doing bigger upper stages like Agena and personally, I really like putting an RD-0105 on top of my Thor. Then you need the casters, or otherwise you're just not getting off the pad. Also, would I be foolish to upgrade my R&D? Because it makes me go faster, and we are starting to run up against, like... We are starting to run up against techs that I just can't afford. Or, like, they're past the cap. I guess not really yet, but, like, we're close. Especially if we start looking at the moon. I don't know, something to think about. Probably a higher priority than that is the bigger launch pad. Because the casters are a moot point. Like, we're not going to be able to fit them on the 60-ton pad. Yeah. I don't know. I want to spend this money on something. It's either going to be a launch pad or an R&D upgrade. What do you guys think? I'm kind of leaning Launchpad. Because we're going to need the new Launchpad for lunar stuff, I think. Maybe not. Mac's saying you can do it on Thor Able. 150-ton pad to allow Atlas-class rockets and bigger Thor-class rockets. Launchpad R&D can wait. Yeah, okay. So we're all in agreement here. Aim for 350? I could do 350. So 350 also allows Titan class, right? That's the benefit there. But I think I'm gonna need a 150-ton pad regardless, because when I start doing Gemini tier stuff, 350 is a nice orbital class range. It is, but I'm gonna need to do 2 launches in rapid succession for Gemini type stuff. And generally Gemini support vehicles were Aeginas, which were launched on Atlases, which go up on the 150. Right? Am I way off base there? Because the other thing I'm looking at is, do I have any big buy-in costs? Yeah. I've got 1958 orbital rocketry coming up. Which at a bare minimum, I'm going to want to hold on to 100,000 for these engines. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I would think you would have a 700-ton launch pad by then. Yeah, but why would I launch an Atlas on a 700-ton pad? No, I'm going with the 150. And that'll be ready in about 2 years. Okay, we need to edit Magellan 3 to have solar panels. And then I think that's probably, once we get that done, probably gonna call stream. Gotta do laundry and the dishes and stuff like that. Fun, exciting stuff. No. Yeah, I don't think we'll be launching like Atlas Aegina or whatever our semi-equivalent rocket of that is gonna be on a 700-ton pad. Okay. Solar panels. Let's go. The solar-powered satellite. You need to last 14 days? So you actually do need pretty heavy solar panels. Or not heavy, but like... Not heavy as in like weight, but heavy as in like... You know, coverage. Does that get you to 14? No, because I think that's technically blocking it. Yeah, 8 days. Honestly, you know what? We need more surface area on this thing. I'm gonna hold on to the GCRC with it. That's up to 9 days. 10, 12, 15. At like a little bit higher margins. 25, that feels fine. This does look a little goofy. I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, it gets the job done. Last 32 days. Yeah. Why did our launch stand come off? Come on. Fine. Fine. Pull you up so I can get to the node. Oh, and then I gotta retranslate you, and it's just a big old hassle. There we go. Okay. So, Magellan 3. You're ready to go. And I think that's where I'm gonna call it today, as has been stated. I got chores and stuff I gotta do. So, thank you very much for stopping by. Gonna take a quick check, see how many people we have, if it's worth doing something like a raid. I'm gonna do this one so you guys get some nice music. We got like 3 people. We could do a raid. Okay. Maybe not. I'm not seeing anybody doing RP1. Okay. I generally like to raid RP1 streamers, but nobody's doing it today. I'll see you guys later. Bye.